To Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. The proposed $1 million project, if approved by County Council and PRT, will allow the county to replace existing restrooms, install new fencing, dugouts, and also make lighting and other improvements at the facilities there. The preliminary submission date is August 8th, 2023, in order to be considered in the application funding period, which runs every other year. The maximum grant is $500,000 for projects of regional significance. Believe that Lindsay Park, because of the location and also the ability to host tournaments at that facility, would qualify in terms of being of regional significance. And this is one of the reasons why in this first application we considered just including those improvements. And of course, it's been quite a while since anything significant has happened out at the parks there. And as I mentioned before, the last application was in 1983, which was awarded in 1984. So I've got the resolution, which is attached along with what we believe is an anticipated budget at this point in time. We'll probably have to fine tune this and then of course provide more information in terms of the pre-submission.
Mr. Parks, by way of question, I look at this grant and several others that I think Marlboro County qualifies for. Is this the best grant that we can find that is going to cost us $500,000? I know we're going to receive $500,000, but it's the best that's out there that you know we can find that can help improve these parks and some of these things. I think that's a pretty good penny.
It's a significant dollar amount, and I think that's the reason why we've only done it once in 40 years. So, the fact that it is a 50-50, match is significant. If you didn't have this funding, it would make it more difficult to consider, making this application. But fortunately, you do have the funding, and I think I can't think of any other place that would actually fit in terms of the qualification for outdoor recreation. But I believe that the Land and Water Conservation Grant is really the best option for the county right now.
Let me ask you, Mr. Park. Like you said, we've got the $500,000 this year, but every other year we won't have it, I guess. So you're saying that we shouldn't apply?
Well,
and also,
we'll have to determine how we can get that match to 2 years
also,
from now.
If we apply for this, does that eliminate us or disqualify us from applying for the PARD grants that we haven't applied?
I don't think it has any. It doesn't have any bearing on PARD.
Yeah, so we can you get the money simultaneously? Can we apply for this grant and the PARD grants?
We can do that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'd like to get a motion to approve Resolution 723-2, apply for the Land and Water Conservation Grant from Marlboro County.
All right, a motion and a second. Any abstentions? Got one. All in favor? Any against? All right, moving to Resolution 07-2303, a resolution authorizing the submission and acceptance by the Marlboro County Recreation Complex for a beer and wine license.
We know that beer and wine are beverages that are usually engaged in at golf courses in the state and surrounding area. Beer is sold currently at the Terrell State Park and in our surrounding areas to include Florence, Darlington, and Marlboro, North Carolina, at the private golf courses. They are also selling beer and wine at their golf course. We're asking that the recreation complex be allowed to submit and accept for a beer and wine license.
Ms. Stump, is there any anticipation that this will increase the need for security at the golf course?
Right now, checking with just the Chiral State Park, that's the one part that I checked with earlier today, and they said they have not had any problems with it.
And this is how it has been run, so it's not like adding anything to
It's
any.
private then.
Right, right. But the golf course did sell beer for the golfers. And that has to be changed because it has to be taken out of the previous owner's name and put into the new owner, which is us.
We have, Mr. Chairman, we haven't sold alcohol on that premises since March. And the guy that running that down there now says that we all know that we've made money. We've made about $100,000, but we've lost probably about a third of our sales because we haven't been selling alcohol down there.
It is a revenue stream.
Yeah, it's a solid revenue stream for us. So, for whatever reason, I don't know, but we haven't been selling, so we need to start.
All right, any other questions? Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, any abstentions?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, Ms. Lawson. And all in favor? All right, 7 to 1 abstention. Okay, moving to resolution 07-2304, a resolution to adopt the 2022-2027 Marlboro County Hazard Mitigation Plan, which has been updated from 2017.
Everyone should have received this, if you did. Okay. Now, what this is our mitigation plan. It's done through, well, this year, it was done in December of 2017 previously. This is the first year that PD COG has done the plan for all of, for the PD region to include your cities also. It was last, the plan was last updated 5 years ago, was recently done in 2022. The mitigation plan, the objective is to evaluate and update any hazards or risks or strategies needed to ensure that our population, our communities, all are safe during the impact of hazards, which would be your storms or your natural disasters, and reduce any vulnerabilities of the hazards. And I'd also like to note that in order to receive FEMA funds after a disaster, you have to have a hazard mitigation plan. And we're asking just for a resolution to adopt this plan.
Mr. Chairman.
May I ask this question? You may not know, but Mr. Park, I addressed FEMA funds in February about FEMA funds. It was like $8,000 there.
No, we fully utilized, we did have about $250,000 worth of FEMA funds that we just ended up including in our financial statements. We recognized it as income last fiscal year.
My question was then, and it's now, how do we use those FEMA funds when we really hadn't been hit with a major storm or emergency in 2022, 2023?
How do we use the funds?
How do we use those funds that was in the budget?
We recognize those as income because we had already expended the cost associated with the FEMA funds that we received in previous years. It probably goes back to, would have been 2018, I'm guessing. So those were on our balance sheet for at least 3 years. And last year, when we had the discussion with the financial auditors, they said, well, we're going to have to recognize that as income because we can't continue to defer that as unrecognized revenue. So.
But they were used this year once I got on council. I noticed that in January's package, and then February package, I know they were depleted. They were
have to-
depleted in February,
I'd
because I
have
asked
to look
about it
at
in
what,
January.
how much was the amount that
They, I
you?
think it was something like $8,000 at that
Okay,
time. And I
okay.
wondered what were we using FEMA funds for?
I'd really need to look back.
It's just
into
that once we get these monies now, I'm just concerned about how, if we don't use monies like that, how are we using it then? If it's, when I say FEMA money, I'm thinking about that's federal dollars and it has to be
It's
used
federal.
for that purpose.
It's federal funding that we receive, and it's typically to cover the cost of damages that were incurred by some significant major storm. But I can't, I'm not aware of any FEMA funds that we've actually received in the prior fiscal, the prior fiscal year. I'd have to look at that.
Like I said, I was concerned with that money in there at that time. And I was now wondering, how did you use that money for this year? Because it was used in 2023.
Okay.
At this point, you may not remember.
I'll need to refer
All
back,
right.
because that just doesn't register with me. And I know $8,000 is probably pretty insignificant. For
It
whatever
may be,
reason, I
but it
didn't-
still was federal monies.
And I want to know, do we have any FEMA funds, or can we get any FEMA funds available for people homes that are still not repaired from the storms, the hurricanes, the things in the county,
I
not
don't
just
know.
the city, the county?
I really wasn't involved in that storm in I believe it was it Matthew in 2018? When was it?
Matthew and Florence, but
In Florence.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think so, because typically 3 years is absolutely the maximum.
there's a lot of people that were not able to fix their properties
Right.
and get them back up to par. If we can find money, if we can find the grants or find whatever's available through FEMA, if that's a source, we sure could help our citizens out a lot.
I think what they found out, Mr. Stroman, that a lot of the folks didn't own their homes. So if they didn't own the home, they couldn't actually
Have
apply
the
for the
repairs
funds
done.
and get the funds. So there was a lot of
From FEMA.
hurdles.
But
in
from
there.
the county, from this entity, if we can find the funds to develop to help those type people that didn't actually own the home and couldn't get it repaired and whatnot, we can find the funds to help them out. I most certainly would appreciate you bringing that to this board's attention.
Sure. I'm not aware of that, but anyway, I'll see what I can find out.
Talking about the FEMA funds, I do know that in 2021, when we had the tornado in Wallace, Marlboro County was declared by the governor a FEMA area. The rest of the 6 counties that were in the lower part of the state. So we were the only county in this end of the state that was approved by Governor McMaster for FEMA funds. And I do know a lady in McCall, a tree fell on her house, and she got substantially paid through FEMA. So that's the last time to my knowledge that FEMA was actually certified in the county to help people. That was in 2021, so that was the last certification of Marlboro County. And it was for the whole county too, because they didn't know what, a lady in Wallace, I think, the tree went through her trailer, and then a lady in McCall lost her house and stuff, so.
Mr. Chairman, we need this resolution to pass so we can be able to get FEMA funds. Resolution 072304, I make a motion we approve.
Second.
All right, any abstentions? All in favor? All right, unanimous. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Okay? I've got a financial report.
Okay, well, let's see, we've got
Appointments.
appointments to boards and commissions first. I've got some
You've got some-
vacancies, I'll get this filled for you.
I'm vetting some people.
I'm sorry.
I'm vetting some people for it.
All right, so let's please get those names into Ms. Sumter.
It's something, the names that we have already that we turned in, I noticed that no one asked for those people address. Do you need those address, telephone numbers for the ones that we,
Yes, ma'am, and I would assume that Ms. Rivers has sent an email out or contacted them also.
To Peggy Cobb?
Not just that, there were several people.
I've got some board members I've still got to take care of. I've been kind of working with different meetings we had and trying to work with the conference, so I'm a little bit behind on everything. But I have taken care of Petey Cobb. I have spoken with them about Ms. Lawson's appointment and yours, Dr. Johnson's. I've supplied them with your names, addresses, phone numbers, and your email addresses. They will get in touch with you as far as meetings and everything. But I do need to get in touch. I have contacted like a couple of the people with the board, but I have to finish doing that.
Okay.
And that is my intention. I will be working tomorrow. It's not a set day to work on my boards.
The local people is what I'm
Right.
talking about, those local, for the Economic Development Board, there was some
Yes,
appointments
ma'am.
made.
That's what I'll be working on tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
What did you need? Do you need their email address or information from
Phone
them?
number and an address, if you can get it for me.
Okay.
As much as you can give me, that way, whoever the chair or the department head over that board, they can get in touch with them and let them know about their meetings and everything. That will help me.
Thank you.
All right, moving to the acceptance of bids. Ms. Sumter, do we have?
No bids.
All right, now, report, finance report.
This is, of course, the last financial report for the 22-23 fiscal year. General fund revenues for the 12 months ending June 30th, 2023, total $14,148,529 in comparison with the 12 months ended June 30th, 2022, in the amount of $12,295,179. General fund expenses through June 30th totaled $13,523,211 of a $13,904,125 budget, or 97.26% of budget year to date. Expenditures for the 12 months ended June 30th, 2022 totaled $11,674,970. Accruals of revenue and expenses and adjustments will be made over the next several months. At this point in time, revenues and other sources exceed expenditures. The county financial auditors will prepare the finalized reporting in the form of an annual audit and compliance report, and of course you'll receive that probably in the January meeting. We're required to submit that report to the Comptroller General and the State Treasurer's Office by December 31 of this calendar year. So I don't know if there's any questions about the report at this point in time.
I have a concern, Mr. Chair. I heard him, you heard our director say, interim director say to us that January we'll get our audit report. I don't know who we've been using for an auditor. I don't know. But as for me and whoever else comes in this county, I would think that in light of, hopefully we will be hiring a new administrator, or whatever we do, or replacing or whatever. But whoever sits in that seat should ask, and we should be requiring a full audit, because I will not step in any place without having a full audit. And I'm hoping that this happen, and not using the same people that we've always used. So I would like to put that out there for information, just to let you know that that's what I'm going to be asking, that this body think about that.
Well, the council engages the auditors, so that certainly is your decision if you want to make changes in that regard. But
That would be
anyway,
needed.
we do have an annual audit each and every year.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Ms. Park. All right, Ms. Sumter, administrative report.
Okay, each month we recognize our employees with 5 or more years of service to Marlboro County. Through the month of June, we are recognizing Robert Stanton, who has 25 years, Sharonica Hennigan with 16 years, Harvey Patterson with 8 years, and Robert Hamilton with 5 years. As far as what's going on within our administration and with the employees, a few weeks ago, we had some problems, we experienced some problems with Waste Connections with the roll cards. So we have scheduled a meeting with Waste Connections to discuss the issues. County Council should have received an email of the date of the meeting, and you all have been emailed and invited so that the county citizens are represented when we're meeting with Waste Connections. We had the Biggest Loser contest. This was our 3rd year having this contest. It's a weight loss contest. And our Warden Travis Bragg, he was our winner of this contest. And it ran for roughly 12 weeks from April to June. Now, we are in the process of scheduling a benefits workshop for the employees prior to open enrollment. Open enrollment happens in October. We started the process with contacting PIBA to obtain some available dates for them to come to our county. We discussed this process during COVID, and we were told by them that their employees were not traveling at that time. So since, everybody's now, COVID is over and everybody's now traveling, we are trying to get them to come to Marlboro County and schedule something with our employees and our retirees that we have. And just a reminder about Thursday again, with their meeting at the golf course at 11 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sutton. All right, moving to the recognition of citizens. I've got Ms. Ella Moore.
Good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. This is my first time coming to one of these meetings. And the reason why I came tonight, and I'm not going to let it be my last night coming, I had to go over to Chirag, to the hospital over there, to take my grandson. And, sitting there in the ER listening and how Marlboro County have a hospital here, and the doors is not open. But I'm sitting here listening at everything else going on with the golf course, the splash pad. That's good with the splash pad because we need something to occupy, with our youth. But I don't need no golf course because I don't play golf. I mean, now you got bingo going on, that's everything, I can do that. But with this hospital, you all, we have family members. And I'm sure you all lost a lot of family members, just like I did. Instead of traveling to Florence, Lombard, Rockingham, Chirag, Fayetteville, wherever, to save a family member, why not these doors over here? It's not open. Now I'm listening to a member at over here at Chirag saying, why you had to come here to have blood work done because the doctor ordered. Well, you all should have had this hospital open. I understand that, but that's not me. I can't open it by myself. But I'm sure everybody else can pitch in to help open these doors because there's family members that we have lost. 911 picking them up, 911 sitting on side the highway, and the person told it, sitting there numerous of times, hours behind hours, 30 minutes behind 30 minutes, before they move to go transport someone. And I know we might be short here in Marlboro County with wagons, but I'm listening to, you get a wagon every year. Okay, every year passed by. This doors is not open. They could say your family member life, yours, and everybody else home. But nobody said anything about Marlboro Park being open. But I'm listening at the amount of money being spent out from here to here. It still ain't been spent out for Marlboro Park doors to be open. We got an urgent care put over here. Urgent care is not gonna save everybody's life. Care South is not gonna save everybody's life. Chesterfield General getting ready to be knocked down and have a new building put up. Marlboro Park still standing, where you see cars go in and out over that park. What they doing over there? They shouldn't be over there if you ain't got nobody you going over there to see. It shouldn't be over there. They shouldn't be over there. Nobody's car should not be traveling through Marlboro Park area to sit there to do whatever. It should be going there to open them doors to visit someone. If you're not going to open Marlboro Park up, you should ask a nursing home. You got nursing home right now. Them buildings should not be standing there. You got people up in there with family members.
Ms. Moore, I appreciate your comments, but you hit your 3-minute limit.
Well, I'm sorry.
I do appreciate it, and I do feel for you.
I'll finish the next thing.
I feel the same. Miss Yvette Douglas, next.
Good afternoon. Again, you know, listening to all the plans that is going on at the country club, the new golf carts, and like I said, I've been out there, and they're brand new. And whoever made the deal, usually when you make a deal, it seemed like you would do all-inclusive instead of using dummy taxes to buy new golf carts again. Now, you're saying that nothing is, that there's a master plan. There's a master plan. It's just that we're not included in it. There is a plan. There's work going on out there all the time. Now you're talking about bringing alcohol and all of that. Okay, I get that. It's a family thing. But wouldn't your alcohol and the things that you have in there selling, wouldn't that fund the building? You want us to pay for it, recreation, and then pay to run it as well? You have that golf course out there. That's all that's being focused on. And it's not 18 holes, it's 9, because the rest of them are filled with snakes. What are you going to do about that? And our children out there. There's more that we need done than that golf course. We have recreation, just like they said, that's not included. And we're not included. I don't see anybody out there working that looks like me. I don't see that. And there's new hires in there, but they don't represent the community. And we're going to say, Lindsay Park has been running just fine. You're going to give that money to Lindsay Park, and you're going to tell Wallace that they got to wait. You're going to tell Clio that they got to wait. No one has, I was at a meeting, and everybody wanted to know what was going on with why people were leaving. Why don't you go do a poll? Who invited the mayors of each county to come? There's nothing for Blenheim children to do either. There's nothing for Clio children to do either. Are you all going to bus them to your famous golf course over there? We haven't heard anything. No open house, no prices, what we are allowed to do there. I'm glad to know we can fish there because my grandkids love to fish. But we as a community, we haven't been told anything. Is it top secret or is it only for the elites? We got to stop turning a blind eye to what is wrong. No one is better than no one else. We are all equal. We all bleed the same blood. And when we start separating one another and we start discounting someone as less than, then we'll never move forward and we'll never thrive. This is not the days of old. This is not the good old boys. This is Marlboro County. We are here. We want to be recognized. And that's not being done. That course has been the sore of everything in this county. And instead of it bringing us together, it's further dividing us because we're not a part of that. And there's something going on there all the time. Every time I go around, there's something going on. And we have yet to hear from anybody. Yeah,
You hit your
yes.
3 minutes.
So, like I said, we deserve answers. You all have to come to us and tell us something.
Thank you, Ms. Douglas. All right, we've reached the time for executive session to discuss personnel matters and contractual matters.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we go to executive session.
All right, all in favor? All right, that's unanimous. There's a contract draft in front of everybody. If they bring that with you.
I play it perfect, I play it perfect.
All right, we're out of executive session. We're back in open floor. Motion was made by Dr. Johnson, seconded by Councilman Stroman, and no action was taken. We have a vote on the floor. We need to decide for clerk of council. I need a motion for Casey Goins Kenny for clerk of council.
So move.
Second.
All right, all in favor? That's 7, all against? All right, so that's 7 to 1. Did you?
I was far.
Yeah. You got the count?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for administrator of Marlboro County, we need a vote or a motion for Wilson Tony Clyburn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor? That's 7 against, 7 to 1, no abstentions. Motion carries. So tonight we have a new clerk of council and a new administrator.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All right, all in favor?